All right, coming in the home stretch here on this. Uh, yeah, what sort I'm looking for? Section, unit that deals with the RESPA. A lot of this stuff we've touched on already, and I kind of maybe beat the horse too early in the first couple of slides. Um, the TILD, Truth in Lending Disclosure, combined with the RESPA, they integrated them to come up with TRID. So they took the Truth in Lending and RESPA, they integrated that into a new disclosure and called it TRID. Once again, under the Dodd-Frank Act, the CFPB, took two things that were working perfectly, mixed them together, gave them a new name, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we got this whole new thing. Why did we screw with it? I'm not 100% sure, all right? So the CFPB's actual effective date was back in 2015. Just recently, October 3rd, is when the new TRID rules came into effect. Do the math. That's not even a year ago. All right. So October the 3rd of 2015, TRID became effective. All right. They have the know before you owe mortgage disclosure rules. I love the little fingerprints. Know before you owe. That is the mortgage disclosure, the mortgage, uh, yeah, whatever. What was it, David? Estimate form. Now I've got myself all screwed up because I have too many years doing that. The mortgage estimate form is the know before you owe. Kind of slick, huh? Government comes up with the slick little words and they act like they've done a lot. That's the mortgage estimate, and I told you that. That's where they put all those. How much money are you going to need? It was to protect the consumer from abusive lending practices. Touched on that already. TRID created two new disclosure forms, or because what they did is they took the truth in lending, which was the GFE, the good faith estimate. For those of you that have been in the business, anybody? Oh, well, that's true. We just got two agents, and Alicia, you're new. Mary, you've been in a while. So if you guys remember, Alicia, how long you been in? How long you been licensed? Yeah, so you got licensed actually after TRID came in, so you don't even remember the old way. Mary remembers the old way, and Gwen, you were a mortgage broker, weren't you? You did mortgages. Yeah. Okay, so you might remember the good faith estimate and the HUD. I still catch myself doing this today. Have we got the HUD yet? And we don't have the HUD anymore. We got the closing disclosure, which works the exact same way, just looks a little different, still the same thing. So you got the loan estimate form and the closing disclosure as part of the old truth in lending, which used to be the old good faith estimate, GFE, or the settlement statement. So the loan estimate form used to be called good faith estimate. The old settlement statement, which we sometimes called a HUD, is now called the closing disclosure. It's the same thing. Uh, the loan estimate form is given to the borrower within 3 days after making application, as long as that person qualifies for the loan. Everybody wants to say that. You got to have it within 3 days. Well, you only got to have it if you qualify for the loan. If you didn't qualify for the loan, then you're not required to get it. All right. Matter of fact, you won't get it because if you don't qualify for the loan, they're not even going to work up any of the points. And remember, the three numbers were based on zero tolerance, 10% tolerance, and unlimited tolerance numbers. The unlimited, in my opinion, is the one that really does it in, but even though it's unlimited, they're still going to be pretty close. The closing disclosure, which used to be the settlement statement, or most of you may have ever heard, Gwen, you were, like I said, the mortgage broker, was called the settlement statement, right? And we may have called it the HUD 1. Okay. Remember, HUD 1 was just a brand name, like Jello is a brand name for gelatin. The closing disclosure is the scorecard. Closing disclosure is the scorecard. Oh, look at that. There's a mistake. Let's fix that. Boom. Hey, there we go. Delivered 72 hours before closing. The people at home they're doing this online are just realized it changed right in front of their eyes. They're like, what the heck? It's 73 days. 24 hours was the old settlement statement law. So that's my fault on me because it's tough coming in under the new rules. You guys don't understand. Um, you don't are getting them confused. And a lot of times they stay kind of similar, but this one's a big change. Used to be, and I don't want to confuse you as you just saw, used to be you had to get it 24 hours in advance. Now we have to get it 3 days in advance. So there's a big difference in that. So the loan estimate is 3 days after making application. The closing disclosure is 3 days before closing. All right, that's the new. When they talk about TRID, they're talking about the Truth in Lending Disclosure and the RESPA Integrated Disclosure Act. They've taken the TRID. I'm sorry, they've taken Truth in Lending, the TIL, and RESPA, and merged them together into this new thing called TRID. Okay. Any questions? No. Tell you what, let's just keep rolling right along. No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to have to stop.